get started. Okay. Vision of Vorids. A jaunty chorus fills the drop bay. Gear is inspected, the last few bolts are tightened, and the ammunition is counted. A routine operation as far as the Vorids are concerned. 26 successful missions on Noxtorma, and at least 14 practice drills aced here on Valhalla. Valorak's trust is well placed in these intrepid, small-statured people. Tuck Harrigan slowly loads his officer's revolver. He vacantly surveys his forward company, eyes unfocused and absent. The team knows what they are doing. They're just as sharp as when he served with them back home. They carry the same bravado with them, as if they left nothing behind when they came to Valhalla. It's exactly the same as it used to be, back before the air shows and interviews, before Arabella's persistent schedule reminders and wake-up calls, a cup of hot bitterroot in hand, before the stories, the legends, and the rumors, before a simple wing commander became the Tuck Harrigan. Prepare to drop. The intercom cuts his reminiscence short. He's back to being that simple wing commander. No assistance, no admiration outside of this drop bay. Tuck Harrigan takes the last swig of his bitterroot, somehow just as lukewarm as when he poured it. His legacy must be rebuilt, and capturing the first wellspring ever discovered in Valhalla will be the cornerstone. The glide strikers are ready. He can see them all take drop positions. Professionals, just like him. The legend of Tuck Harrigan shall be known on 2 worlds, not just one. Alright, and then skip over this and the second one. Here we go. Attention mainlanders. Valorak Enterprises has graciously accepted the gift of the Tarn of Volsunga to begin our intercontinental expansion. We are aware that circumstances on the mainland are difficult, and that the ravages of war and schemes of pirates have sullied the once great life you have all enjoyed. On behalf of Valorak Enterprises, we offer a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become citizens of the colony of New Hawkeland, the region formerly known as Ostradvik. Citizens of New Hawkeland will enjoy the prosperity and innovation that Valorak Enterprises brings on the table, including consistent work hours, steady pay, and housing, and a state-of-the-art modular occupational units. All are invited to rise above the pitiful inheritance and squalor offered by generational war of your leaders, and to step into abundance. In New Hawkeland, you can regain the life you had, enhanced with the innovative technologies and commodities of our company creates to improve the lives of all. Don't settle for the crumbs of life left after the wars of the past have dined at your table. Take charge of your own future and feast with us in New Hawkeland. Signed, Valorak of Hawkeland, Chief Executive Officer of Valorak Enterprises. Stamp. And we have from the pen of Sonlen, so it is kind of Sonlen's journal this time. 27th of Dagmar. As my travels continue, I come across a peculiar package full of food rations, small medicinal doses, a blanket, and a container of something pungent called bitterroot. It appears to be one of many that have been distributed en masse across the surrounding regions with the attached message. I have now spotted at least 3 of these across the roads of Anund as I emerge from Merkheim, and their bright green canvas parachutes emblazoned with a black banner, or with a black hammer and tongs, make them a conspicuous sight amongst the more muted tones of natural foliage. I do not know who this Valrak is, nor under whose authority this enterprise was given the Tarn of Volsunga, with Uller's forces contending for Ostrovik, and I would have to imagine Ziamara is unhappy with the establishment of this new Hakaland. I shall write for her insights once the Major has been restored. What I do know is that it is rare for gifts from a stranger to come without cost. Perhaps I am growing to resemble my lord's paranoid state too much, but I do not trust Valerek's open invitation. At the very least, her arrival has come during a contentious time. With the poisonings, disarray, and suspicions, I fear that any first impressions made by the Valkyrie of the former alliance will not reflect their true virtues. It is time to wait and see what this Valorek of Hakaland will do in this unprecedented age. And then we have some Valhallan text below, which I have already translated. Ready? Here's what it says. O sweet child, beware of the fairy, or the fairy. Of their gifts be e'er wary. Offers all obscure accost. Boons distract as you are lost. Traditional Ashra nursery rhyme. So there you go. All right. Yes, okay. And what's Premium Escape and Justin saying? Oh, I just review these now when we're going through them. Do I know how to look up the World Tournament maps? Yes, I do. You mean on Renegade? Because there's different variations of tournament maps. But if it's through Renegade, well, it depends on when it comes to the Heroscape World Tournament and Gen Con. I don't know if they've released those yet or not. So I know they have some on the Renegade website, but I think right now, or at least it was like a day or two ago, Renegade website, I think it's needed some adjustment with those. So I can't show you anything right off the bat, but I know they're out there. I know they're out there on the Renegade website. They just might need some organization, so I'd say just be a little patient, though. I'm sure they'll get that in line soon enough. And Justin in the chat saying, new scenario, let's go. Yeah, so reading through this the first time, not interrupting, we have this first vision of the Vords, and this just gives me an impression of the Vords, especially Tuck Harrigan. The stature of these quote-unquote people, the Vorad. They're very proud little tiny woodland creatures, and I think so proud that if you call them tiny woodland creatures to their face, they would probably get extremely mad and blow your head off. I'm just... That's the take I get from these guys. So let me read through this again. This time I'm just going to give my thoughts. It says, a jaunty course fills the drop bay. Gear is inspected and the last few bolts are tightened. So just kind of describing things. Routine operation as far as the Vords are concerned. 26 successful missions on Noxtorma and at least 14 practice drills aced here on Valhalla. So they've been practicing, and Valorek's trust is well placed in these intrepid, small-statured people. Oh, and by the way, guys, because we'll probably be looking at this, I do have the Valhalla map. If you wanted to know where Hakaland is, it's right there. And my cats are starting to fight. But yeah, Hakaland's there, so they're coming all the way through here and starting to claim this area, I think, because I know Anun was mentioned as New Hakaland. So that's an interesting thing. Yeah, it's right above Ekstrom. This is where Uller is, technically. So yeah, this would be Uller's territory here in this area. So yeah, Valorek is deciding to take over there. It's interesting. Anyway, okay, let's read through this more. This Tuck Harrigan slowly loads his officer's revolver. He vacantly surveys his forward company, eyes unfocused and absent. His team knows what they are doing, just as sharp as when he served with them back home. They carry the same bravado, with them as if they left nothing behind when they came to Valhalla. Justin says, finished 8th at the store championship. Congratulations this weekend, which means I'm getting the silver-based Awashia with foil card. Those foil cards look really sweet. The game store didn't get prizes in time, so they'll ship them out. Okay, cool. Well, congratulations to you, Justin. I mean, getting any type of ranking in championship is well played, well deserved. So good for you on that. Out of 14th, which I'm happy with. Okay, that's not bad. I know that when I go to Gen Con, I'm thinking of entering the championship, but you know, I gotta think about what I'd actually be using for a 500 point army. If that's what it's going to be. More than likely be something with bugs, but I'm almost half. I know it's a championship, but I'm almost half inspired to have fun and just like find a way to have just a nearly a whole like crustacean army, just so I can just destroy the entire battlefield, just make it as lava as possible. But since I wouldn't be using them until that time, I don't know if it's good to go in with an army that I would just have gotten that day or the day before. So yeah, I'm thinking about it. Maybe we'll go through what army builds and stuff like in the coming months and talk about it. But anyway, they carry the same bravado with them as they left nothing behind when they came to Valhalla. It's exactly the same as it used to be back before the air shows and interviews. So here we're talking about like so Tuck Harrigan, probably on Noxstorma, probably was like a celebrity of sorts, you know, like a military celebrity, but a celebrity nonetheless. Before Arabelle is persistent, schedule reminders and wake-up calls. Yeah, Arabelle. I wonder if we're going to get an Arabelle in the future. That's a character that we really don't know about. It sounds like either someone who plans Tuck's schedule or something, but it sounds like some type of secretary or something, or possibly a news media person. So in Cup of Hot Bitterroot, so Bitterroot is a key. Before the stories, the legends, and the rumors. Yeah, before, and I like this, a simple wing commander became the Tuck Harrigan. I'm surprised that the H and E are in caps. Prepare to drop. Now, this is one thing that actually kind of like kills me, because the drop is the Airborne Elites thing. I know it's not on the Glide Strikers Army card, but it's just they put that on there, and I'm just like, it just kills me a little bit. The intercom cuts his reminiscence short. He's back to being that simple wing commander. No assistance, no admiration outside of the drop bay. Tuck Harrigan takes the last swig of his Bitterroot, and somehow just a lukewarm is when he poured it. So apparently they like their good brews. His legacy must be rebuilt. If a legacy is being rebuilt, then what caused it to crash down? Something to consider. In capturing the first wellspring ever discovered in Valhalla, and this is interesting. So we're going back to the wellspring origins, and so the first wellspring ever discovered, we're going back to the very beginning. That's the wellspring that Thormund discovered. So that is very interesting. The Glide Strikers are ready. He can see them take drop positions. Professionals just like him. The legend of Tuck Harrigan shall be known in 2 worlds, not just one. This is very interesting. And then we go here. So we have, I can imagine like this is actually a little like 3x, like there's like a business card basically, to where it's just like this little card with stuff typed out. You know, very efficient. So this is an interesting take on a Valkyrie general. This is a Valkyrie general who's a chief executive officer of Valkyrie Enterprises, a very industrial Valkyrie. So that's interesting. So no one has any idea about Valak, just sweeps in and is just like a Valkyrie general of industry, really. Okay, attention, mainlanders. Calling them mainlanders. Valoric Enterprises has graciously accepted the gift of the Tarn of Volsunga to begin our intercontinental expansion. So my guess is that the Tarn of Volsunga is of course where that would be the wellspring, the area of the first wellspring there. So that must be on the map. It's got to be somewhere around here then. It's got to be somewhere in this location, I imagine. I didn't think to do any research on that beforehand. But let's see here. Okay, the beginner. Okay, we aware of the circumstances on the mainland are difficult. I like how they're trying to do it. They're trying to do a sales pitch to everybody who's fighting and dying this endless war on quote unquote mainland Valhalla. On behalf of Valoric Enterprises, we offer once in a lifetime opportunity to become citizens of the colony of New Hakaland, the region formerly known as Ostrovik. Citizens of New Hakaland will enjoy the prosperity and innovation that Valoric Enterprises brings to the table, including consistent work hours, steady pay, and housing, and state-of-the-art modular occupational units. It's not just, guys, it's not just a business pitch. It's also, or it's not just a sales pitch. It's also vote for me, type of thing. Consistent work hours, steady pay, and housing, and state-of-the-art modular occupational units. I can imagine them being like hobbit holes or something. All are invited to rise above the pitiful inheritance of squalor offered by the generational war of your leaders and step into abundance. In New Hakaland, you can regain the life you had, embraced with the innovative technologies and commodities our company creates to improve the lives of all. Don't settle for the crumbs of life left after the wars of the past have dined at your table. Take charge of your own future today. No, take charge of your own future and feast with us in a New Hakaland. Signed, Valoric of Hakaland, Chief Executive Officer of Valoric Enterprises. Stamp. Got a stamp there. So yeah, that's interesting. And then we have Sonlen just taking this all in. From the pen of Sonlen, 27th of Dagmar. As my travels continue, I come across a peculiar package full of food rations, small medicinal doses, a blanket, and a container of something pungent called bitterroot. So they're dropping like what would you call them? Like care packages, to everybody. It's basically an invasion campaign. We're coming with you, like it or not, and be our friend or not. It appears to be one of the many that have been distributed en masse across the surrounding regions with the attached message. I've now spotted at least 3 of these across the roads of Anund as I emerged from Merkheim. And their bright green canvas parachutes emblazoned with a black hammer and tongs make them a conspicuous sight amongst the more muted tones of natural foliage. I don't know who this Valoric is, so that's interesting. So nobody really knows. At least Sonlen doesn't. No under whose authority this enterprise was given. The Tarn of Volsunga, with others' forces contending for Ostrovik. I would have to imagine Ziamara is unhappy with this establishment of this New Hakaland. I shall write for insights once the Major has been restored. So we're still in the process of rebuilding Major Q11. So that's an interesting point that we're at in this storyline. So the Q11 we have, dropping goodie bags right down. So in this timeline where we're at right now, Q11 has not been fully rebuilt yet. So apparently that's coming, or at least during the time when this note was written. What I do know is that it is rare for gifts from a stranger to come without cost. Yeah, Sonlen, you just don't trust anybody, which is, I mean, it's fine, you know. Even if it was goodwill, and it seems very goodwillish, yeah. Perhaps I am growing to resemble my lord's paranoid state too much, but I do not trust Valorac's open invitation. At the very least, her arrival has come during a contentious time. With the poisonings, disarray, and suspicions, I fear that any first impressions made by the Valkyrie of the former alliance will not reflect on their true virtues. It is time to wait and see what this Valorec of Hakaland will do on this unprecedented age. And then, of course, this note below, Valhallan text, which says, "Oh, sweet child, beware the Faerie. Of their gifts be e'er wary. Offers all obscure a cost, boons distract as you are lost." The traditional Ashra nursery rhyme. So it basically says, yeah, be careful what gifts you receive, basically. So, yeah, now I do want to state one thing. Like, actually, okay, this is like one of my negative opinions on these whole matters. I mean, it's great to read these, and it's great to see how the story continues to develop. But for me personally, and I think some people share this view too, I've seen some comments, but I can't stand the fact that I can't read everything at once. That's just me. I like my books. You know, I like reading through everything and just knowing the whole story. And this, while I understand why they're doing this, and I mean I agree with it, but at the same time, there's a part of me that just give me the whole book so I can read through everything. You know, I don't like, okay, wait and see till next time. You know. That's just, I guess it's the impatient person in me, but that's kind of a negative just evaluation that I probably have. And I just wanted to say that, and I'm going to move on. Now, okay, let's see here. Dan says, Valorec glamping. Hey, Dan, I hope that package got to you in the mail. Okay, and everything looks good for you. Yeah, Premiumscape. If it is too good to be true, it just might be. Yep. Exactly. So we have Valorec entering the fray, and they are, again, I'm going to go back to this map. So in this area is where, and Hakaland's right here, again. Hakaland's this huge island off to the east. Lots of ocean, lots of sea separating. And so we knew nothing about this place until now. So it's kind of cool now we're finally getting some story from this and what Valkyrie are actually here. And I think I heard rumors that we're going to be getting a new map, which is cool. I'm looking forward to that. But right now I'm just going off this original map. And so from here to here, scattering stuff. And apparently here is also the origin, in this area is also the origin of the first wellspring discovered, Ostrovik. Yeah, Ostrovik's right here. So yeah, in this area, which is kind of interesting. So that is your location for all of that. Anything else I can think of? I think majority of mainlanders are going to. Oh, that's great, Dan. Okay, cool. I'm glad everything got there to you. I hope you enjoy them. Have a lot of fun. Building your armies with them. But I think majority of people in mainland Valhalla is like Premiumscape. I know, I really want a map too. Mainlanders, I don't think are going to be as accepting to Valorac's plans, so we might see like a change in attitude with Valorec in the future as soon as she encounters a lot of resistance to you know, the promise of industry to everybody. They tend to not want that. I wonder how that will go with the pirates too. You know, pirates, you got carefree living, you know, and then, you know, just following orders from messages in bottles to actually orderly industrial. It's an interesting take on a different type of faction, and one that we've never really had in Valhalla. I think the closest we've gotten to is maybe something of like Einar or Vidar, but they weren't anything like this. So, I mean, Einar was a bit more organized, but not industrial. And Vidar, you know, had their machines and stuff, but it was a different thing. This is more like let's get profits, you know, let's just change the landscape, you know. It's very interesting, although, you know, changing the landscape with guns, you know, and tiny woodland creatures where if you call that to them in their face, they'll rip your head off. Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, so that is taking a look at from the pen of Sonlen and additional notes, Sonlen's journal number 9, and the observations and reading of that.